Hey everybody, welcome back to my kitchen. I'm Ken, and today I want to show you how to make your very own homemade garlic powder. There's nothing really complicated about making your own garlic powder. The only thing is you gotta watch a couple of steps. And this is one of these cases where if you've got more time than money and you actually really care about quality and maintaining and keeping a control on what you consume, this is perfect. We all know that you can find garlic powder everywhere. What you don't know is what's in it, what they put in it, what they add to it, all those chemies, and that's a no-no. So in this recipe, or in this method here, I'm gonna show you how to do it using nothing, and I mean nothing else but garlic. First step of this recipe is very simple, and I've actually pre-done this because watching garlic bake off for an hour is like watching grass grow or paint dry. You don't want to be doing that. What I've done is I've peeled and cleaned my garlic cloves, and I've popped them into a 400-degree oven for about 45 minutes to an hour, just until they basically get a little browning or a little golden. You don't want to cook them, you just want to bring out that intense garlic flavor. I've made this both ways. I've made this with just raw garlic dehydrated in the oven, but I've also made this way, and the flavor is much more intense. So that's the first step. 400 degrees for about 45 minutes to an hour. The second step of this, I am using my trusty food processor. I love this thing. And in this case, I am using my slicer attachment. You can slice these by hand. If you got the time and the inclination, God, you got a better life than I do, because whatever, that's just too much work. So if you've got a food processor, use the slicer option, not the kind of grinding up option, because it'll just not turn out the way you want it. So the next step to this is very simply taking your garlic and placing it into the funnel carefully of your food processor to slice it up. Nothing complicated at all. All right, so now that our garlic has been sliced up and taken care of that way, you're gonna love the way this smells. This is fantastic. The next part of this, in the same tray or the flat baking sheet, you're gonna take your sliced up garlic, and that's the key to this recipe or this method, is just slicing it up and having it very thin, spread it out over a single layer on your baking sheet. Nothing complicated, not rocket science at all. You're gonna take your oven and you're gonna bake it basically, or set it to the lowest possible setting there is. In my case, it's about 170 degrees Fahrenheit or about 80, 90 degrees Celsius. Yours may go down to 140, 150. That's fine too. What you're going to do is place this in a very low or the lowest oven setting you have in the middle rack for about 10 to 12 hours. Remember what we were talking about? More time than money? Well, this is it. And remember, there is nothing in this other than garlic. And look how gorgeous that looks. Just absolutely beautiful. Oh my God. And this smells, they should bottle this. But anyway, so pop this into a low setting 170 degree oven for about 10 to 12 hours, and we'll go to the next step. So now 12 hours later, actually more than that, it's been about 12 hours for our garlic to actually dehydrate completely, and it's actually perfect, it's ready to go. And the next part of this, very simple, is you could either use a mortar and pestle, which is great if you're into the manual labor thing, or you can pick up one of these spice grinders for like 10, 15 bucks in most places, and they will do the trick fantastically. And all you're gonna do is simply fill this up with your dehydrated garlic, Put your garlic in small batches and just grind it up. That's the sound of magic happening. So that's perfect right there for our first batch. I like to use a mason jar. And for this, simply take your mason jar and a canning funnel. And just pour this right in there. Just like that. Nothing complicated. Very easy to do. And you have some fresh garlic powder. And that, my friends, is all there is to making your very own homemade garlic powder. Nothing to this at all. Just a few simple steps. Pre-roast your garlic at 400 for an hour before you actually chop it up. Chop it up or slice it up into very thin slices. Dehydrate for about 10 to 12 hours at around 150 to 170 degrees Celsius in your oven or at the lowest oven temperature. And then just grate it up. Grind it up using a mechanical little spice grinder like this, or whether you use a mortar and pestle, totally cool. So that's it for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching. As always, I had fun showing you this. Please hit the like button, subscribe, and also hit that little bell button for notifications so that way every time I upload something new, you'll be one of the first to know about it. So until next time, I'm Ken, aka The Lazy Gourmet. Thank you very much for watching. Bye for now.